So we need to write here. 6, 6. Okay, so hello, all. We'll have a few more people shortly.
Corey, have you been sworn in as a full member yet?
Corey's been appointed, and I could swear him in right now if he'd like.
Oh,
I have an oath right here, if you'd like to do that. All right, so very good. Corey, why don't you raise your right hand and repeat after me? I, Corey Vero,
I, Corey Vero,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
and will obey the laws of the United States
and will obey the laws of the United States
and of the state of Maine,
and of the state of Maine.
that I will in all respects,
Say again.
that I will in all respects
That we will, in all respects,
observe the provisions of the Charter
observe the provisions of the Charter
and ordinances of the town of Pittsfield,
and ordinances of the town of Pittsfield,
and will faithfully discharge the duties
and will faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of Planning Board member
of the office of Planning Board member,
for the end of the year.
say through the end of the year,
Yes, thank you. According to the Constitution
according to the Constitution
and laws of the state.
and laws of the state.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, you're a full member.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Very easy to do.
If you're looking for that look, you definitely should go with the game because these are harder to set. Okay.
You've got a few more people joining too.
I saw Brent earlier, but he disappeared.
Yes, he took his picture off right now, video. He'll be back.
Well, the idea of the crushed stone is to have drainage under your wall. And so you make the bed 6 inches deep, and sometimes you have to get into it 2 or 3 inches. That's fine, and it helps you align the top of the rocks. Absolutely. You're right. I would certainly want you to. Yes. Yes. Probably 1,000 pieces. Oh, yeah. Right.
One-
Yeah, well, I mean, I have done a couple other things, but it's one of the things I've done for 4 years. Yeah, actually, I guess I'm probably classified as a hoarder.
Oh, Caleb is here. That's good.
Frankfurt Wood.
All right. So the one that is 6-6.
No, I'm in a Zoom meeting anyway here in about 2 minutes, so just give me a holler when. Sure enough.
It's starting right now. You're all set.
Yeah, and I loaded it, so.
Hey, Frank. Frank, we can hear you, Frank.
I gotta leave you. Thank you. Bye.
Don't send him a text message.
No, sorry about that, Brent.
That's okay. We can hear you, Frank.
He's conducting business.
I know he is.
It's the way it goes. I'm sorry about that. I'm shutting the phone off.
That's
Yeah.
okay. We lost Royce here.
I'm here.
Oh, there you are. Now I can see you. All right. We're all set to go, Royce. Thank you.
Okay, well, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 of us. We need one more member to actually make any decisions.
Mhm. All right. So a quorum for you is not 4, like most boards. It's 5.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
A quorum is 5, and it takes 4 votes to pass or reject a measure.
Yes. The 4 is similar to other boards and committees.
But
All
the
right. Well, Simone is usually here. So
quorum, yep. I guess is Mo going to leave altogether?
he may. He's talked about it, and then he thought maybe he would stay. So we'll just have to see how things go.
Okay.
Royce, don't we have 5? We have me and Royce, Mark, Tom, and Brent.
Who's talking now?
Corey.
That's Corey.
Okay, Corey,
3,
Brent,
4.
Tom.
You have 5. You have 5 now.
Uh,
Mark doesn't have his picture on, his video on.
but Mark is up there someplace.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we got 5 then. So, I mean, we can have a meeting with 4 people, but we just can't make any decisions. Can't make any movement without 5 people. At the beginning, we have a picture of the flag at the assessor window.
Yes, we do.
Is that for the Pledge of Allegiance?
That would be correct.
Oh, okay. So we'll open the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. You can look at the assessor window. I pledge allegiance to the
To the
flag
flag
of
of the United States of America,
and to the
to the
republic,
republic for
And
which it stands,
one nation,
one nation,
under
under
God,
God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
with
with liberty
and
and
justice.
justice for all.
Okay, the meeting is open. Corey doesn't have to be authorized because he's a member now. The adoption of the minutes from a month ago. Is there a motion to adopt the minutes?
I'll make the motion. We adopt the minutes, May 10th,
Okay.
21.
I'll
Second,
second.
Corey seconded. Any discussion on the minutes? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Raise your hand so I can see what's going here. Okay, so I guess all opposed say nay. Okay, appears as though the minutes are passed. No public hearing, we've got old business. So we can, consideration of the site plan review application for the construction of a shooting range by Nathaniel Picard on Main Street, tax map 4, lot 24. I can open this for discussion right now. And then we can, then I guess we can make a motion on it one way or another, but I was there when he shot off the rounds. Oh, I can't remember what day it was, but there was a few of us and I didn't hear anything at the entrance to the property. Simone said she heard a pop. She was at another side and she said she heard a pop at 10 o'clock when it happened. So anyway, I'll open it up to anybody. The people that were there with me and the people that were someplace else. Is there anything you have to offer about the noise levels?
Well, I was with Simone where we were on the Barnington Jet Road.
Yes.
Yeah, there was, she was sitting in a car, so she was probably getting a little bit of it deflected, but it was noticeable, but not extremely loud. But it's and it's one of those things. The loudness probably wasn't bad, but if it was a continual thing throughout the day or throughout the weekend, it might be a little bit more nuisance.
I guess I could throw that to Nate and see if he has anything to say about the frequency of the shots that may happen.
So the frequency would, it would be highest on the weekend, and it would be during daylight hours and after 8 a.m. So it'd be, I would imagine, no more nuisance than trucks or motorcycles or planes overhead.
So Tom, how was it really loud to you? Was it something that you would consider offensive?
The loudness I don't think was a huge issue, but it's just, we don't know, I guess, how repetitive it'll be or how much of a nuisance it might be over time. There's no way to tell that until you live with it, I guess.
Yeah.
Royce,
Yes.
has anybody responded from the public?
I think there was a
There's one email there that
yeah,
Kathy, the administrator,
she put that on.
facilitated, shared with us today. They had some questions.
Yeah.
I didn't see that one today.
I didn't either.
You didn't get the email?
I guess I didn't see the response from the.
Well, it was connected with Nathan's letter to us. And who is it? It's Bruce Simpson. Does anybody know him?
No.
I don't.
He had some questions. There was a popping. This was an email to Kathy dated May 31st. There was a popping noise around 10, but was not long enough to determine an all-day, everyday situation. Which way will the bullets be going? These are questions that he has listed. Will this, if allowed, become a problem for resale of property? If it does become a nuisance, how will it be corrected? Can sound barriers be constructed? Will there be a problem with traffic entering and exiting? There should be a lot of situations be considered. So some of those questions are repetitive from what we had in our minutes.
Yes, they are. I guess
Tom, do you know this Mr. Simpson?
It doesn't sound familiar. Is there an address with it? Anything?
No.
So the name doesn't ring a bell, but there are quite a few people in this general area.
was he one of the people that was
Not one of the original ones that wrote in or anything.
was he one of the property abutters too? I mean, there should be a list of the people who have property that abuts Nate's property.
I don't see him as an abutter
You don't, Catherine?
on the list. No, oh, yes, I do. On the second page. Map 4, lot 49.
Yep, Bruce
But
Simpson.
the address we've got is in Florida.
He can't hear it in Florida, can he?
No, that's not. He's here for the summer then.
Oh,
It's probably, there's a new mobile home or new trailer mobile home type setup that was put in right on the corner across from that lot a year or so ago. but I think they're only I think they might only be seasonal.
The letter, I got it on my phone here. I gotta find the right device so I can read these things, but it didn't. He said there was a popping noise around 10, but not long enough to determine an all day, everyday situation. And which way will the bullets be going? Because that's kind of obvious. You can look at the site. I don't know. Okay, first off, can everybody get this letter? It's in an email. It's been,
Yeah, I got it.
It was sent today.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was sent from Kathy. 10:22 a.m. is when I got it.
Yeah, I haven't checked email today. I don't live by my computer.
You know, it didn't sound like there was a lot of complaining going on. It just more questions than anything else.
Well, I'll just speak up. I'm satisfied with what the applicant has presented. And the demonstration, the effort was made with a demonstration. I mean, if the board feels like there needs to be more sound, a sound investigation, noise investigation at the boundary lines and that such, then I'll go along with that. But if that isn't the case, I say we move along with a motion to for this and decide what we're going to do in that regard. I mean, we've made an effort to the public to investigate this to another personal degree, and there has been some investigation. We've made an effort to answer the questions and the public knowledge. So
Well,
I'll just lay it out. I'll just lay it out how I'm at with it.
So I was there with you, and I didn't hear anything, and you didn't hear anything. Brent was there.
Yeah, I didn't hear a thing.
Corey was there. We didn't hear
I agree.
anything.
That's true.
The people that heard noise say they were popping noises. Nobody's saying they were really objectionable noises. They were saying they could be objectionable if it were repetitive. And I don't know if you've got a long range shooting. I don't see how repetitive the noise is going to be, because basically you're shooting really kind of far away. You're not just going to spray bullets at something that's 1,000 yards away. So we could throw a motion out. Do you want to make a motion, Mark?
I make a motion that we accept. I do not have the applicant's previous submission package there, so if anybody would help me, I'd be greatly appreciated. I'm making a motion that we accept the shooting range, site plan review. Let me get my right, okay.
Yeah, I got it in front of me.
There we go. I make a motion that the site plan review application for the construction of shooting range by Nathan Pickard on Main Street, tax map 4, lot 24 be accepted.
Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second it.
Brent second it. Any more discussion before we vote on it? Okay, all in favor of accepting the shooting range, raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no.
No,
Okay, there's four of us. So it passes in a nutshell.
Yep.
Tom Cody was the one who objected. That's something we hashed out as far as having 4 votes for or against. that's something we hash out. It's in our, the rules that govern our planning board, that we have to have a majority of planning board members to pass or fail a motion. Even if we only have 5 people here, we still have to have 4 votes for or against, because that's a majority of a 7-member planning board. So that's why, if we had less than 4 votes, it would have been a failure. So right now, I guess it's a go for Nate.
Yep.
So we can move on. That's the old business. The new business is a site plan review application for a new hangar improvement project by Northeast Skywagon at Pittsfield Municipal Airport. And there's just a lot of stuff. We can, it looks to me like, the questions have been answered. Oops, I got the wrong one. I got Nate's thing going on here. All right. Out of this junk, I could find it someplace. Did everybody read through this? Sorry, there are a few questions. Basically the reason why we didn't do it last time is because this really wasn't, our site plan review itself wasn't really addressed. And I'm going to go through it like I go through everyone. I'm going to save the,
Mr. Chairman,
yes,
Mark LaGrosse.
yes.
Can we have the applicant do a little presentation of what's going to happen here? Just go down through it quickly
Is the
before
applicant-
digging.
is,
I hope he is.
Yep, happy to do it. If you guys, I'm not much of a presenter, but basically it's a storage hangar for airplanes. It'll be the 4th building that I've built at the airport over the past 40 years. And we'll be doing the same quality work and the same, it won't affect traffic any more than it already has. It's out on a closed runway that's at the end of a taxiway, and I'm not certain what could be a better use for the Pittsfield Airport than another hangar.
how's the hangar that you've got now? Why don't you go over those details?
I'm sorry, I'm losing your voice a little bit.
The hangar that you have now, can you go over those details and let us know why you're building a new one?
It's being built for Curtis Air,
Yeah.
and so I'm just the contractor in this one.
Okay,
The way it's set up, I have to own it and have the lease for the first 6 months, and then when the building's completed, it'll belong to Curtis Air. We'll be transferring the lease over.
okay.
Yeah, and I am here. I'm just I'm on the phone. So
Okay.
this is Caleb Curtis with Curtis Air, by the way. Sorry.
Yeah, I can't see your picture, but I guess there's a little window up top tells me when somebody's talking, so.
He's on the phone.
Yep. So I'm not gonna deal with public hearings or a visit to the site, but the rest of the stuff until the end of it, then we can deal with whether or not we want to pursue it any deeper than we are. Submission requirements. No, because this is something that just has to be turned into it has to go on record. That's why I'm a stickler for putting all these site plan reviews together, because like I said, if anybody else decides they want to be the chair of the planning board, they'll have to fill these things out too and turn them in at the end
No
of it.
thanks.
Okay, so submission requirements. one of the first questions we've got. It's, these pages aren't numbered. But, it's a section 8, submission requirements, no waivers or required. Is the information that we have received and read in the other parts, is that sufficient?
Yep.
Or do we want anything more? I consider it sufficient, but I'm gonna,
I think it's good.
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 the boundaries are shown in the attachment B, which I don't fully understand, but does anybody need more information than we have?
No,
So it's sufficient.
Sufficient.
You can see from last month, it says incomplete, but now we've got everything completed. Tax map lot number and the parcels, I know what the project is located, that's sufficient.
Yes.
Sufficient.
Okay, lease agreement, that's a pretty long thing if you want to read it, but the lease agreement, is this information sufficient for everybody?
yep.
Yes.
All right. Okay, no streets, nothing changing. Let me see. Part H, location of open drainages. I don't think doesn't look to me like anything's changing, but does anybody have any? Pardon me?
The way I understood that is that they were utilizing existing foundation, right?
Yeah,
No, this is a different one. This is the building's moved out onto the closed runway now. We're using a lot that's adjacent to the hangar that's adjacent to mine. It's a relatively flat piece of land and it drains back to an open ditch that's between the 2 rows of taxiways. So as far as drainage goes, it's not gonna change it one iota. And I apologize if there's any overlap between the 2 site plans, because originally we were gonna move an existing building, but that's changed now. And so it's gonna be.
You're not putting it on an existing foundation?
No, it's going on a brand new foundation.
It's all new, Mark. All new.
Oh,
okay, knowing that information is, do we need more information?
No.
I don't think so. It's a flat site.
Sufficient?
Brent, have you been down there? Have you looked at it?
Oh, yeah.
Brent, of course.
No, it's a good setup. It's out on the abandoned runway, Mark. You know where that is?
Okay. Kind of. I don't think I've ever been out there though, but
Well, yeah, and there should be more of them. Not abandoned runways, more hangars.
oh,
Section A kind of goes with the previous section, but the direction of existing surface water. Need more information on that one?
I'm sorry, did you say you needed more information or do you need more information?
Do we need more information?
No.
No,
No.
Okay, let me see where we are on this road map here. I don't think we got all our numbers and everything on the there's no lighting. Do we require information showing apron construction details around the hangar?
No.
No.
Location of all utilities is pretty much it's kind of a moot point because there's nothing else being really added. The electrical service is underground. We don't need more information on that, do we?
No.
We do, then speak up. Proposed use or activity, I think that's pretty well understood. We don't need more information on that, do we?
No.
No.
Estimate of peak hour and daily traffic. It's not really a traffic, it's not a road thing, so. I'm not gonna say that we need more information on the roadways, the road traffic.
That's kind of a secure area anyways. You just don't go driving out there.
Yeah, really.
It's gated, so yeah.
Is that where they get access through the past going towards the transfer station?
No,
No, that's on the other end of the abandoned runway, Mark.
Okay, that's on the other end, the far end,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah, so anybody that would be coming to the hangar would come to the Curtis Air parking lot and park there, and then they would walk out from there. So it'd be the Harrison Street is where they'd be having access, but the hangar is really the main purpose of the hangar for me is to have a place to store float planes that aren't going to move during the wintertime. So, so it's really going to be like next to nothing as far as traffic. And this is Caleb Curtis speaking. Sorry.
everybody good with that so far?
yep.
Good.
Said I wish these pages were numbered, but they're not. The next page it goes, it asks us to waive the requirements of 9.2 A and B. Is not applicable. Does everybody agree with that?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Going across 9.9, let me say 9.9 erosion control. Do we need any more information on erosion control?
No,
No,
No.
Sufficient for us. Okay. See if there's anything on this last page that we have to fill in and report. So I don't see any real problems with everything. Let me see, an improvement guarantee. Do we need an improvement guarantee?
no,
Not required. Do we wish to have a site visit or a public hearing? I'll go back to the beginning and fill those in.
I say no.
Yeah, I'll say no.
no.
Technical review fee, we don't need that. Let me see. Public hearing. Not needed. And I don't even see a place for the site review, but that's okay. We don't need it anyway. So we can actually, since all the spaces are filled in and checked off, we can have a motion. There's no additional information required, so the motion would be to accept the building of the new hangar.
I'll make a motion again.
And can
I'll
be
say.
with no additional information is part of the motion.
And who seconded that?
I did, Tom.
Thank you so much.
Okay, all in favor of accepting the hangar application? Raise your hand, say aye.
Aye.
I
I think we got a unanimous vote on that one. I can fill in this page and I can bring it into you sometime.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
And
Site plan review. The next item on the agenda, site plan review for the application of the Fenner Park hand carry boat launch. And I see Bill is here. You've actually applied for this before and we gave you permission for it, but apparently must have been too long.
It's fine.
Probably, it ran past the statute of limitations. So,
You're muted, Bill. There you go.
Yeah. We couldn't construct the boat launch within 1 year from the time the planning board approved it. Planning board approved it in January of 2019. And we had some permitting problems with the Department of Environmental Protection. Basically, what it was, our staircase boat launch slide that we want to put in there that will use the steep bank rather than remove the steep river bank there and destroy half that park with a 150-foot ramp. The state wouldn't recognize that because their definition of a carry-in boat launch is a 6-foot wide gravel path sloping down to the water at no more than an 18% slope. And the minute you give them something that doesn't fit that definition, they bump you right up to doing an application, an NRPA individual permit application. That's the highest level of review that the DEP does. You know, it's like if you were going to put a power line in from Canada to Massachusetts, you'd need that application. And we have a little dinky boat launch. And after writing up close to 100 pages of that thing, the flora and fauna of the mill pond, analyzing salmon migrations, we still weren't anywhere near getting it done. Even when we started up again after the pandemic in March of 2021. Kleinschmidt ran out of ideas. I went over to Chumbro, talked to Lauren Walsh, their environmental manager. She said, I know a few people in Augusta, maybe I can help you out. Maybe get this permit thing knocked down a few notches. I said, well, go for it. And she did just that. She was able to convince the DEP that if we removed 1.5 feet of crushed rock on either side of our staircase boat slide, then they would be happy with it. Convince them they would be happy with it. So we could do it as a permit by rule, which is like one single sheet of paper. And she filled it out. We sent it in. DEP approved it immediately. Sent it over to the Army Corps of Engineers. They approved it immediately. And then I checked, of course, with the planning board stuff. And I knew we were more than a year out, but I just didn't realize that you just couldn't go before the board and say, yeah, could you give us another approval, without resubmitting the whole thing, rewriting the whole booklet. So we took most of May with help from Kathy and office staff at the town office. We managed to rewrite this whole thing. And I present it to you tonight to hopefully gain your approval again. And perhaps we'll have time this summer. Once this is put out to bid, maybe we'll get things in gear so that we can build this thing by maybe the 1st of November, before winter comes. If not, I'll be asking you for an extension for next spring or next summer. We'll try to do it then. But we've been trying to do this since 2017. So it's been a while, but we had the pandemic in there. That didn't help. But we've got our permitting under control. The town has 3 more permits we have to have, but they're local ones. They shouldn't be too hard to get. So things are looking up, particularly now that we got the approval by that Department of Environmental Protection and the Army Corps of Engineers. So that's all I have to say. I'll answer any of your questions.
Does anybody have any questions for Bill about the project?
Oh, I would add, I've heard this around town that we're taking kind of a bad rap because people say, why spend taxpayer money on a rinky dinky boat launch in the mill pond and not fix the roads in town? And my answer to that is this boat launch will all be paid for by public donation and gifts in kind. There will be no taxpayer money used. We've already raised $400 in cash to pay for permitting fees. Kleinschmidt has donated over $5,000 worth of permitting, probably $10,000 worth if you add all the time in they put in it. Chembro just donated Lauren Walsh's time, and Greeley Tree Service donated some trimming of the trees right over where we want to put the boat launch. So keep that in mind. This is a town of Pittsfield project. I'm just their agent, trying to get it done. I never would have dreamed it would be such a project. I like paddling in the mill pond. I like seeing the MCI students out there with their gym classes, learning to paddle canoes. I hate dragging my boats over Mike Fendler's lawn up there at Church Goods. I just thought, you walk by that Fendler Park and you see that sign that says future site of Carrion Boat Launch. You know, it's been there since the park was built, and there's a nice space for it. There's a little tarred driveway we can take advantage of. I thought, you know, we could get out there with a pick and shovel and do it in about 2 weeks. But anyway, I'm learning.
There. Okay.
So the intent, this is Mark LaGrosse. So the intent with this design is to put this out to bid?
Yes, be put out to bid. Once the town decides, council picks who they want to do the project, I'll sit down with the contractor and figure out what materials I can go out and get in-kind donations for to keep the price down, and how much cash we'll need to pay him. And I can go out and get donations for that. And
Right.
then once I do that, and I assure the town council there's money and gifts in kind to pay the bill, they will actually hire the contractor. And according to the contractor's schedule, you'll try to fit the project in for this summer or fall. And if you can't, maybe we'll have to do it, you know, in the spring.
So right now you don't have a construction budget or construction cash flow.
What we have, Kleinschmidt did an estimate on it, less the engineering cost. They figured about $16,000, but that was back in 2018.
Yeah.
And we're making most of these structures out of pressure treated wood. Of course, that's
Yeah.
gone up greatly lately. So I suspect it will be higher than that, but you know,
Mhm.
in that ballpark, it's not an astronomical amount, high amount.
Yeah.
Price
So
of,
we got it. So
go ahead, Mark.
have we got to go through these questions again?
Kinda in a way. I mean, it's like I said, the reason why we do this is because this is all kind of recorded. This is all part of the record of it.
Yeah.
I'll ask you right now, we don't need a public hearing, do we?
Nope.
I'm just
No.
gonna-
Did you have one before when you guys voted on it before?
Uh,
No,
no.
no, this is all part of the centennial celebration and it just never really got off the ground.
Yeah, we were gonna try to get it finished for that, but didn't work.
Sometimes. We don't really need a site inspection as a group if you, I guess, you know, if you wanted to take a walk down there and look at what's gonna go on, you could. Blah, 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 blah. There's no fees involved because this is a town of Pittsfield operation, actually. It's not, like Bill was saying, he's just the messenger, so. Submission requirements, there's a master plan. We've got, in the folder, we've got drawings and pictures of what's gonna happen down at, and, it's a fairly simple thing, but you know, of course, the price of lumber has gone up about fourfold since it was originally put before us.
It looks like there's some site work is gonna be done too, right?
A little bit, yeah. You want to talk about that, Bill?
Well, if you could, I don't know, it's all listed out in that master plan from Kleinschmidt, in
Mhm.
drawing 1.
Yep.
We're gonna have an area there for MCI to lay their canoes out on the ground, chain them up. We're
Mhm.
gonna have a handicap parking space there to comply with the ADA requirements. We're gonna make use of the tarred driveway there as an unloading, loading area. We'll have a boathouse that essentially is a roof with 4 legs on it where you can put your kayak underneath it in racks and chain them up in there at your own risk. A lot of the people that work downtown, the young engineers, kind of have the idea they might want to go out and kayak during their lunch hour. So they're going to keep an old kayak chained up there. You know, and we have a little kiosk with all the information on the waterway there, all the warnings. Should be a very safe thing. The town attorney has approved it. The town insurance company has approved it. We've mitigated all their questions about risk. But it's not a large area when you
Looks
come right
big.
down to it.
Looks like a minimal impact on the ground too.
Yeah, oh yeah. That's why we didn't want to remove the steep bank there. The easy thing to do would be to bulldoze that bank down. But the minute you did that, in order to obtain that 18% slope, you'd have to cut way back into that park with switchbacks. And just this, we're not talking backing down there with a boat trailer. We're talking just carrying your paddleboard or your kayak or your canoe down there.
Exactly.
You don't need something quite that elaborate. And that would really impact things there if you did that.
I think the first question we have is, it's page 13B-6,
Yeah.
8.1, general information. It talks about, it shows Fenler Park on the tax map. We can accept the tax map to show where the property is. Yes. It asks us to accept the tax map.
Yes,
Yes.
acceptable.
What's the next place we have a question? 13B-8, the bearing and length of all property lines of the property to be developed, and source of this information. It's shown on one of the drawings, drawing number 1, actually. This
Mhm.
good enough, accept.
Yep.
Dig safe notification will be done. We're gonna accept that request.
Yep.
Yes.
I'm sure they will. If they
They
don't,
have to.
yeah. They don't have really a choice, do they? Location and dimensions and ground for elevation of all existing buildings, is that accept? We can accept that?
Yes.
On
Yes.
On one. There's a lot of information in this request, this site plan, but it's good information. It tells you what it's all about if you want to stop and read it. So most of us, a lot of us, I guess, have already gone through this before. So there aren't really a lot of issues that have to be resolved. Access to the site, there's no new access, so we accept the access to the site because nothing's happening, I guess.
Yes.
You'll get there the same way you get there now, only then eventually you're gonna have a little shelter and a set of stairs. Again, 9.4, access way and location. No new requirements, so we accept that request.
Yep.
13E.14, dash 14.
Yes.
Internal vehicular circulation, there's none, so we accept that request.
Yep.
Yes.
Yes.
And there's informational stuff about stormwater management and runoffs, and there's no water, there's no sewage. There's a new light pole, but it's just part of the plan. Natural features will not be disturbed. Like Bill was saying, there are going to be signs telling people what they can do and what they can't do, and how to be nice to the site. Shoreland relationship. I'm probably gone through this. All these things you've gone through with the state, or a lot of it had to do with the shoreland, I guess. Technical and financial capacity, donations. No historical features. So we're asked to waive the requirements of a guarantee because it's a town of Pittsfield operation. Is that
Mhm.
acceptable?
Yep.
Yep.
And we can take a motion to approve this application with no conditions. Anybody want to give a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Corey, second? I can second it too, for that matter. Is there any discussion, any more discussion on this application?
No.
All in favor, raise your hand, say aye.
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 Looks like it was unanimous.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you, Bill.
okay, now the next item on our agenda has to do with the approval extension request for the Pittsfield Solar. Is there anybody to speak for these?
Yes. Yes, we have Michael here.
Hey, good evening. Back in July, you heard from a colleague of mine, Carter McCann, regarding a 5 megawatt solar farm that our company Sincarfa Solar is developing on Main Street.
Yep.
We had planned to begin construction this summer,
Yeah.
and have all of our, our site plan approval with you all, our permits with the DEP and our DOT driveway permit, which are good for at least another year, as I understand. But due to some delays in the CMP, Central Main Power interconnection process, we've been delayed by forces outside of our control. They're dealing with a large number of projects, and we have our approval from them to interconnect to the grid, but they are conducting what's called a cluster study of a number of projects in Pittsfield and in neighboring communities as well, to understand what those required upgrades from that number of projects will do to the infrastructure as a whole. We don't anticipate any severe adverse effects from that study, but it is one that will give us a cost estimate as to some additional upgrades that our project will be responsible for paying. And we cannot move forward with construction until we have those estimates from CMP. Their most recent estimate for the results of that study is December of this year. And so as soon as we have those results and we can move forward, of course, with keeping in account the winter, we'd like to begin construction in the spring. So we're asking for 2 6-month extensions to our current site plan approval.
Yeah, I don't see this. Well, actually, there's no site plan review. We've already done the site plan review, so they are looking for an extension.
Royce, I got a question.
Yes.
Now, you don't anticipate any changes to your original site plan, Michael, from CMP, any of their requirements?
The original site plan that we submitted to you, or the
Right, that, yeah.
No, we don't anticipate any significant changes. I mean, there could be changes to the panel layout within the area that we've permitted. We could change around the exact location of the panels within that site plan to optimize production. But within that fenced array that you see on the site plan, there, outside of that fence line on the site plan, you shouldn't see any additional changes. It's just going to be
Yeah, so the
panel
footprint,
layout.
the footprint's not going to change.
Exactly.
Okay.
Sorry, I could have said that a bit more clearly.
But if there are changes, it should be brought to our attention, right? Outside, if it expands beyond that footprint.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
I think the footprint, you kind of took all the available space and you couldn't move over the bank because that was wetland. And
Right. Yeah,
that end.
there really isn't much of an opportunity for us to expand the footprint for 2 reasons. One, we would need to reach an agreement with an adjacent property owner to expand outside of that footprint. And 2, because it would trigger additional DEP permits as well.
Yeah, well, yeah, we're gonna get stymied by the shoreland ordinances if you try to move any more to well, I can see when you go look at the property, you can see where it rolls off and you can see where it gets wet. Joel Greenwood, who had to be someplace else tonight, he sent a letter, an email actually, and he said, the request for the extension for the solar project is a fairly standard practice. At this point, many solar projects have been delayed by the need for new local grid studies. If possible, I would generally ask for a copy of any federal and state permits to be submitted as and when they receive them to go on file with this application. So does that sound okay to you?
Yeah, I believe our state permits had been submitted. But if that's not the case, I can get you copies of those.
I guess anything new that happens from this point on,
anything new that happens from this point on, absolutely, yes.
So it can all be included. And anybody else got anything to say, to discuss the,
I guess I have one question. If something changes drastic with the cluster study, this project could not go through, correct?
There is a chance that if CMP comes back and identifies the need for tens of millions of dollars in infrastructure upgrades, that our project and the other projects that would need to share in that cost would become, unfeasible from an economic perspective. We don't anticipate that happening based on previous studies like this that CMP has done. But yes, it is always an option with these types of utility studies.
anyone else got something to say?
Is that Catherine?
Yes, thank you. Just very quickly, section 10.1 of the site plan review ordinance allows the applicant to request an extension of the approval deadline prior to the expiration of the period, and it needs to be in writing to the planning board. So both of those conditions were met, and then the planning board may grant up to 2 6-month extensions to the period if the approved plan conforms to the ordinances at the time of the extension and all federal and state approvals and permits are current, which we've been told are. And then if there's any additional permits, we're going to get copies of them. Thank you.
Okay.
And that's why we're asking for both of those 6-month extensions, because there is a chance that this can get cleared up in the next couple of months. But if we can get both of those extensions now, it would relieve the need for us to come back before you in the event that we can't begin construction in December and have this operational soon after that.
Can we do that? Can we give both extensions now, or does it have to come back in 6 months and ask for another extension? Do we?
Up to your interpretation, there's no regulation listed in the section that states that you would give one extension and then have the person come back for the second one. It says the planning board may grant up to 2 6-month extensions to the periods if the approved plan conforms to the ordinances in effect. So I think it's up to your interpretation.
Okay, because I don't have it in front of me. Does anybody have anything more to add? Or we could take a motion to grant 2 6-month extensions,
I'm
Right.
okay with it. I'm okay with the extensions.
or basically grant a 12-month extension to the project right now. And
Yep.
is that the end of the line though? After 12 months, then it'd have to be resubmitted altogether, wouldn't it?
Mhm.
Okay, which is probably not a real big deal, but it's just a matter of more paperwork in the end. Okay, is there a motion to grant the 12-month extension?
I'll make a motion.
Sincarfa. Does anybody second the motion?
I'll second.
Corey? Is there any more discussion before we vote? All in favor of granting the 12-month extension? Raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
Aye. I think it went through unanimously again.
Thank you all. Appreciate your time this evening.
Well,
You're welcome.
it was easy. Like I said, if 12 months go by, then yeah, we're just gonna have to spend another hour on paperwork. Okay,
I hope that won't happen, but maybe I'll see you in a year if it does. Thank you.
okay, you're welcome. I think I lost my agenda, but I don't think there's anything left on the agenda.
There isn't. Just discussion items, Royce.
Yeah, okay. Anybody got anything to discuss? Anything on your mind?
Yes, go back to the regular meetings.
I was going to say that today. I had to ask for a Zoom meeting link because I didn't know if we were going to go back to the regular meetings, but I don't know when that can happen, frankly.
Yeah.
Why can't it happen? The state's okay stuff.
Yes, it actually can. At the end of the month, the governor lists the public state of emergency. And once the public state of emergency is lifted, any of the standing boards, the town council, the planning board and the zoning board of appeals no longer have the exemption so that they can meet by Zoom. The other committees can, like recycling or any of the other little committees that are not considered standing ones. So you will have to go back to regular meetings in July.
Oh, well,
Isn't the town council meeting in chambers?
Yes, they are. But they can Zoom in if they want to until the end of the month.
what you're saying is we don't really have to move on this issue. It's just going to happen anyway.
Yeah, the governor took care of it.
All right, there you go. So the next time we meet, we're going to meet right downstairs in the town offices. Okay. Unless anybody's got a real objection to that, then you can Zoom in.
I guess I'll have to be dressed for that one.
Yeah, well, you know, the shirt I wore when I ate,
Yeah.
I don't have to clean it off because it's so full of food stuff. Okey-doke. Do I have an adjournment?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second, third, fourth.
Favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
See you in person next month.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Okay.
Aye.